Hi there, I'm Malt. I live in a multiverse and I move around across this multiverse quite often. I travel from one universe to another, and since this travel can take quite some time, I have to spend a lot of time in between those worlds, in between those universes, in this empty space, empty, vast, great space filled with a void, with a nothing. This nothing is not particularly hospitable to us humans, and in order to survive this journey, in order to get to the destination point with a sound body and right mind, I have to improvise and I have to come up with various routines and practices I follow through during those missions, which help me to fill up this space and time with something meaningful. And the way I approach this task usually is quite ad hoc. I would scratch my head and decide on what I'm going to do next day, without long-term goals, without tracking my progress, and without any kind of structure imposed on it, just feeling this way or that way. And when I say those routines and practices, I mean very simple stuff like fitness exercise, swimming, maybe running, or it could be about writing a book, or it could be about socializing if I'm traveling in a company with other people. It could be about praying or meditating. Now, nowadays, with those technologies, with those apps, you can organize, you can approach this task in a much more structured and organized ways. And during my last journey, I tried one of those. I tried a Bundleverse to combine all those my routines and all those my practices into what they call a mission. A mission, which is a bunch of routines where you specify your long-term goals and you run through those missions trying to achieve those goals, and you also log your progress on the way towards those goals. That's the way to approach it in a more structured and I believe more modern way. Anyway, I did it. Well, it wasn't too bad. I liked it, in fact, and I thought I would share my experience with others so that they know how to operate this Bundleverse and what to expect from it in case they want also to try it during their journeys. Let's jump to the specific of this app. I have a free subscription. When I log in, I land on this mission page. The name of the mission is Tracker. There are a bunch of other missions in the list, as you can see, but I would recommend always to run one mission at a time, because otherwise, if you try to run several missions, it easily gets messy, complicated, confusing, etc. When you start your mission, don't forget to touch a timer. It's quite a handy attachment. That's an example of my timer. I keep time of, I monitor how much time I sleep, screen time. Fun is referring here to watching movies or following news, and screen work is just doing some work. Outdoor activity, fitness, meals or snacks I have during the day. I can count number of coffee cups I drink, etc. Now I can access this timer through my phone. I have an icon in my phone, click on an icon, get this timer, and during the time I just switch from one to another timer, following my daily activities. Towards the end of the day, usually before the bedtime, I have uploaded all this data accumulated on my phone to the server. I click on the upload button and I'm presented with those three tables. One of them has data from my timer. I can refine it if I need it. Usually I don't. The leftmost weather table is about the weather indicators. They've been fetched by API, no need to enter manually, which is a very nice feature. I can refresh them to fetch the latest data, or I can update them if needed to enter something specific to my specific location. The middle table is about the data, which are usually based on measurements I conducted by myself, like weight, for example, or blood pressure. Or it could be about data sets which reflect on my state during the day. How did I feel during the day? Sorry. Excuse me. Was it a good day? Did I feel okay or not okay? Once I'm happy with entries into those tables, I click on Submit button, and this snapshot is saved into the database, and it's representing one single day in my life. And then I can start this cycle again. I go to the timer, reset all the values to 0, and start this counting again. To visualize the whole mission, I go to the View tab. This one shows spider plots, 3 types of data: mean over the mission, my goals, and the last entry. Let's simplify it a little bit, get rid of the last entry. All data is normalized here. 0 is in the center of the circle. Outer circle represents value 1. And let's have a look on my weight. The goal is to be here, while I'm up there, I'm overweight, and that's something to work on. My fitness activities, the desired level is up here, and I'm quite heavily underperforming, as shown by this graph, which may explain my weight. My blood pressure looks persistently high, something maybe to discuss with my GP during the next appointment. The correlations tell me how these indicators, the relationship, if there is any between those indicators. For example, I tend to feel not okay when it's a rainy day. And for these correlations tables to be meaningful, they must be based on a statistically significant number of data sets. The length of the records underpinning those stats must be at least exceeding 100 entries, which means running the mission for at least 3 months. Otherwise, there will be a lot of noise, and the relationship between those variables may not show up through those noisy data sets. All the variables except weather data, all the other variables are customizable to fit your specific requirements. To customize, you go to the design page. There are a bunch of tables, each table made out of a bunch of state indicators. Every row here is a state indicator, and it shows the title of the indicator, the units of measurements, minimum, maximum value, the target you are aspiring to achieve. Excuse me, too much dust on this planet. And the type of the variable, you set number for the variables with a decimal number. You set it to radio if you are expecting input in terms of binary yes no values, and you set it to count if you would like to count number of coffee cups you drink per day. Once you are comfortable with the configuration, you click Save and go to log your indicators. The weather table, usually I don't touch it, it's too complicated. There are those APIs. If you don't need weather data, just remove it, clicking on the cross here. What else? On the mission page, you have download button. You can download all your data collected over the course of the mission to your local computer. And once you have your data sets downloaded, you can click on the delete button, and that will erase all data sets you have accumulated in a database on the server. Okay? Once you click it on download and then on the delete button, you are the only person in the whole universe or the whole multiverse who has access to these datasets. Unless, of course, you shared them prior to downloading, you shared them with other people. Last comment I would like to make here is that when you start those missions, it could feel quite challenging because you have to stick to those routines, and even simple tasks such as logging your progress could become tedious with time. It requires those dedications and commitments which may wane with time, which may be gone with time. But what I found is that, at least in my case, if you don't give up, if you keep going, you get used to it. You get used to logging your data, you get used to running through those missions, and eventually with time you carrying out these sections, those practices in almost a semi-automatic way without paying too much attention to it. And I get used to them so much that now if I missed for some reasons one day and didn't go through those missions, I feel like something important was missing from my life during that day. Those missions and this login have become, or is becoming maybe, important for me by itself. It has a value by itself regardless of those secondary outputs or outcomes I was expecting from those missions when I was just beginning this journey. Okay, probably that's enough for this talk. I'd like to thank you for your time and wish you all the best. Bye.